Is here, friends. The incoming winter storm, it could potentially break some records, right, Elita?
That is correct. It's not going to break the top seeded record, which is 19 or 20 inches. Thankfully, that one set back Valentine's Day, the 14th and the 15th of 1895, but it could certainly break the remainder of the records, February 12th in 1960, as our projections right now are anywhere between 3 to 6 inches. What we're seeing in the latest models is there's going to be some heavy banding of snow setting up. And the big question is, that band of snow going to set up north of Interstate 10, right along Interstate 10, or maybe even some of our coastal communities? And when you look at all the different modeling, a lot of it shifts north or even south with every model run. But right now, generally speaking, most of our models are placing a lot of that snow not too far from the Houston area, between 3 to 6 inches. You get just outside of the Houston metro area, and we're talking still 1 to 3 inches up in our far northern counties, potentially 2 to 5 if you're waking up this morning around Montgomery County, down along our coastal communities, down toward Galveston. Anywhere between 2 to 5 inches right now look to be in the forecast. Also, some ice accumulations, and this not a good thing. Anytime you get that icy weather, and then on top of that you get to snow, it is going to create some disruptive travel conditions. We already have closures, as we've been talking about, and I know for many of you, you don't have the luxury of not going into work, especially if your employers are saying, hey, you know what, we still need you to get here. So right now, I want to go to meteorologist Rachel Briers. I know you've got some tips, doing a lot of winter forecasting during your career. You know a little bit of this, Rachel.
Yes, I've been in quite a few different snow or ice situations. And yes, obviously, the main thing we want you to do is, if you can stay at home and not get out on the roads, that is going to be your best bet. It's going to be highly discouraged when it comes to any sort of traveling on those roads. But if you do have to do it, there are a few things that you do need to know about it. First off, don't use your cruise control, and also make sure you take it easy on those brakes. If you hit those brakes, you're going to slide. Now, we also want to make sure you leave plenty of room between yourself and other cars, and most importantly, too, if your vehicle starts to skid, you want to slowly turn the wheel in the direction of the slide. Now, one of the things that we always talk about are bridges freeze first. Why does that actually happen? Well, these bridges actually lose heat from all the sides. We have the cold air on top, we have the cold air on the bottom. Where the roads, they just lose the heat from the top, and they also have those insulating effects from the soil below. But that's why bridges end up freezing first, and that's why that's always one of our primary issues when it comes to driving. But we are going to be keeping a close eye on those roadways for you as we head into the next few days. So all eyes, of course, on that potential of winter precipitation, and yes, what it could do for us here in southeast Texas. And for more on that forecast, let's head back over to meteorologist Elita Loresca.
Today, still under a weather watch for the potential of some freezing rain, maybe some ice and snow later on this evening, but really honing in on Tuesday and Wednesday. As we know, Tuesday is going to be a high impact day where any sort of travels are being discouraged. We mentioned it earlier at the top of the show, Bush Airport closing at midnight tonight. Definitely going to have some impacts on those of you the next couple of days, but winter storm warnings are up, and that's going to start at 6 o'clock this evening through 6 p.m. on Tuesday. Things are nice and quiet with satellite and radar not showing much in the way of cloud cover right now, as the moisture is distilled down to our south. Out the door this morning, we got some frigid conditions. Temperature readings hovering right around the upper 20s to low 30s, just above freezing in Galveston. But then we are going to see those temperatures fall, especially overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. So watch as the freeze line shifts further up to the north. So if we get any precipitation today, it's going to fall as a cold rain. As that freeze line slowly starts to shift further to the south and the moisture starts to come in, that's when we're going to start to see the switch over. And most likely around 1, 2 o'clock tomorrow morning, we're going to start to see some freezing rain, the possibility of some sleet, some snow, and that snow is going to slowly start to accumulate, especially within a couple of hours time frame. So by 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, yeah, we could already be dealing 1, 2 inches of snow on the ground, and that accumulating snow is also going to be shifting further toward the coastline. So that freezing rain line is eventually going to switch over, and then you're going to start to see more steady activity of snow for a few more hours. Those of you on the northwest side of town will slowly start to see a lull in the activity where the clouds are going to clear out, and then you can see most of the moisture should start to clear the area around 4 or 5 o'clock. So it won't be an all-day event, but for the most part, overnight into Tuesday morning, you're going to want to stay off the roads. A strong breeze will be developing as well overnight tonight into tomorrow, where we could be talking about winds gusting between 30 to 35 miles per hour. That is going to lower the visibility with that snow, with that freezing rain blowing around, making it very difficult, very dangerous for driving conditions. And just a heads up, whatever falls on Tuesday will most likely refreeze. We've got that hard freeze potential early Wednesday morning, and if things don't evaporate, if we don't get enough drying, that could mean another refreeze coming up here on Thursday morning, where some of those roads could still be impassable, ladies. So we're going to have to monitor that in the long-term forecast, but by the weekend, we will be out of that freezing zone with temperature readings warming up. A little bit of moisture coming in, but not the frozen type. We've got some rain back in the forecast as early as Sunday.
Okay, we just have to get through these next couple of days.
Another check of the weather, and we're finding that the low pressure system over the Gulf will be bringing us some widespread snow along with the chance for some freezing rain. We have an ABC13 weather alert.
ABC13.
Another check of the weather, and we're finding that the low pressure system over the Gulf will be bringing us some widespread snow along with the chance for some freezing rain. We have an ABC13 weather alert for Tuesday and Wednesday. At this hour, we've got mostly dry conditions, and we're monitoring temperature readings. Temperature readings at this hour are in the mid to upper 20s. Cold weather advisory due to those wind chill values in the teens, and most likely we will see an early arrival of some precipitation later on tonight, but it's really Tuesday and Wednesday where it's going to make travels extremely difficult, not just only on ground, but also by air. We're going to have the latest, of course, the updates on Future Track, along with our snowfall and ice accumulations throughout the morning. You can join us live beginning at 6 a.m. on the ABC 13 News Stream.